so I want to kind of run through everything that you need when you're trying to catch coyotes, bobcats, your larger predators. Obviously, you're going to need a good trap set up. A lot of good footholds made out there. You need to check your state regulations. Be sure that the one you've got is not, too big for your state. But this one is a Bridger number 2 dogless, and it's I believe it's a 5.5 inch trap. I like this trap. It's got a really big pan. It's got a lot of room for a coyote to get his foot on, and it's a 2 coil trap. And just works really well. I've had these for quite a few years. You don't have to tune them a whole lot. If you do need to tighten the pan or something, you can do that pretty easily. But get those out of the box. I usually boil them, clean them up, and treat them in full metal jacket, and kind of helps a little bit of the rust proofing, helps them last a little bit longer. They're going to come out of the package with this length of chain down to this right here. Then to that, I just add a little J swivel right there. Just put it on there, and then I add another length of chain to that. Put that chain over there, close that up with a big pair of pliers or channel locks. And then to that chain, I'm adding a quick link. And then to my quick link, I'm adding an earth anchor. And these earth anchors are key to being able to catch coyotes. When you're catching coyotes, especially coyotes, but to a lesser degree, bobcats and foxes, you've got to be able to set the trap where the trap needs to be and not where you can anchor it off. If you're trying to anchor your coyote traps off to trees, off to fences, off to rebar stakes, you're just you're kind of banging your head against the wall because it's just not going to work that well most of the time. You can bed these. Coyotes like to be in an open area. They like to work a trap set in the open, and so with these, you can bed them just about anywhere. And I set a lot of my traps right in four-wheeler trails and things, and so those earth anchors do the job. And then, of course, you're going to have to add your trap tag to it. And so that's how my trap is set up. To drive those anchors, you need an anchor driver. Put that right on there, and you drive it with a trapping hammer. And your hammer needs to serve a couple of different purposes. This one's a groundhog. I've had it for years, and it works really well. You can use the spade part of it to dig your trap bed. And when I dig it out, I'm digging out a little spot about like that, leaving a little spot for my chain and my earth anchor. And then the end of it is hollow, and so you use that. I use that to dig my dirt hole, and that's where I'm going to put my lure. So a couple of different baits that I use. There's kind of a few things you want to do. You can put out some fox urine. They're pretty close to it. I usually splash some on on the bushes or something close by. It's kind of, trips a dominance factor with coyotes. And then your lure. There's several different kinds you can use. Like this is like a Hawbaker's. It's a Widowmaker 800. It's I believe it's a Coyote gland lure. I use a lot of gland lures in the late winter this time of year. And you put those right up at the top of your dirt hole. So those gland lures work well. This is a black gold. This is some that I just got from Hoosier Trapping Supply. Just something I'm trying new for this year. This smells like a castor-based lure, from a beaver castor. Smells pretty good. Beaver castor by itself works pretty good. And then probably my favorite is this stuff, Hellfire. I don't even know who, but Dunlap makes this stuff. And it's a skunk-based lure. It smells really stout, but it is one of those things. I probably caught more predators on that than anything else. Your last step, you want some kind of predator bait, and this is actually ground up mouse meat, bobcat meat, preserved. I don't know what all's in it. You don't want to eat it. But there's several different kinds. This is Top Dog. This is Mark June's Widowmaker. I've used Pingley's Wyoming Relish. There's a lot of different kinds that I've used. They all work just fine. You just want something that's going to smell pretty stout, and you want to put it down in that dirt hole. And I've had guys ask me like, well, can you put a piece of deer meat? Can you put a mouse? Can you put a piece of steak or something else in it? You can, but these baits work better. They smell a lot stronger. They've got preservatives in them, so they last for a lot longer in that dirt hole set. Sometimes I'll have a lure out in a dirt hole set for 10 days without checking it, without going up and looking at it, without rebaiting it, and you'll catch a coyote on day 10. And so that's the key. You want something that's going to have that long-lasting scent, and these lures do it. So once that's there, the main thing with a coyote trap is just to be patient. You're not going to catch something every night. Usually the first 2 or 3 nights are pretty slow for me. After night 3, kind of that night 4, 5, 6, 7, those seem to be the nights where I catch the most big predators. But I've caught predators in sets that I've had out for 2 weeks. The main thing, you got to go check them every day, and and be ready. If you get a big rain or something, yeah, you can put a little fresh lure in there, but let that trap sit there and hunt. Those coyotes can smell that lure, and they're going to come to it, and sooner or later, you're going to get their interest. They're going to step on it, you're going to catch them.